Hey, I'm Herald sports writer Manny Navarro here at Deerfield Beach, joined once again by our high school sports writer Fernandez. Time to make our round 2 picks. Dre, let's start off at the bottom today. Let's start off in Class 2A. CHAMPAGNAT, road game this week. Talk to me about their opponent, what you think is going to happen.
Well, Glade's days proved that they're a lot better than people thought. They had some questionable, close games that they won against teams that, really didn't seem like they were that tough. But they showed it last week. They beat Dade Christian pretty good, 20-7. Obviously, they don't have Kelvin Taylor running the football there anymore, but it's still a solid team. They got home field advantage, and CHAMPAGNAT needs to know if they don't go out there and execute right away and get some points on the board, they're going to be in for a long night. But I think they have the talent to pull through. It'll be a little closer game than CHAMPAGNAT's recent results, I think, because of that road trip. But I think the Lions will stay undefeated.
I'm going to have faith in your team this week, but I think it's going to be tooth and nail, down to the wire type win for them this week. All right, Class 3A, Westminster Christian. Now they got to hit the road after their win over Pahokee, go up to Palm Beach, take on Cardinal Newman. This Cardinal Newman team's pretty good. This might be the end of the road for the Lions.
It could be. The Warriors are going to have a hard time, especially if they're, like I said before, if they're not healthy, if they're missing guys like Cronkite, it's going to make it even more difficult. The key is pass protection. They need to give Hunter Boyette time to throw the ball, and he needs to be sharp because they're going to come after him. That Steve Walsh coach team has been waiting year in and year out. They've always been blocked by a Delray Heritage or a U School. This is the first time that they have a real opportunity to get to state. And, if Westminster survives this, I think they can get to Orlando. But this is the tough obstacle. I don't know if they can get past it.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I think Cardinal Newman's going to end the Warrior season there. All right, we're going to skip Class 4A because that's a special game. We'll move up to 5A where American Heritage now has to go on the road to take on Immokalee. Dre, it's never fun to go to the muck.
No, it isn't. I mean, it's a tough environment out there, like we were saying in the game earlier. But American Heritage is on a roll this year. I mean, you look at the roster they've put together. Torrance Gibson's having a great year. I think he's been the difference. His play the last few games has just elevated them to another level, and I think they survive out there on the road.
All right, Class 6A, Central and Dillard. Dillard with the big win last week over Carroll City that somebody here called and somebody over there didn't. Carroll City season ends, so now it's Dillard, Central. Who do you like?
Well, I'm pretty sure you're not going to do the same thing this week.
No.
I didn't think so. Yeah, year being Cook and Central, I think they'll establish the running game the way they always do. Cook had a tremendous game last week against Boynton Beach, and I think he's going to have another one. And, Dillard has done a great job, but they're overmatched in this one. I'm going with the Rockets.
Yeah, running game. They're great at stopping opposing pass offenses. This running game is unstoppable for Central. Class 7A, St. Thomas Aquinas, Plantation, the rematch, 16-6, first time these teams met. Can Plantation pull it off?
Yeah, well, they can if Chris Lemons is healthy. I think if they play an excellent game, maybe, but I don't see it happening. I think St. Thomas is, they got things back in order after that loss to Deerfield to these guys here, and they had a rout last week against Miami Springs. Now they're a little bit more on equal footing against Plantation. I think the biggest thing they have to work on again is the passing game. Wade Freebeck needs to be sharper than he's been in a couple of games recently, and if they get the running game going, the defense is going to play well. I think they can do it.
Yeah, I'm agree with you. I think the Raiders at home will win the rematch they did last year. All right, the other 7A game. This one's kind of interesting. Ely having to go up on the road. They've played really well the last few weeks.
Yes, they have. Going
up to Dwyer, number 1 team in the state in this class.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dwyer's still probably going to beat them, but don't be surprised if Ely hangs in there for a while. I think they've played a lot better in recent weeks, and there's a reason for that. I think their offense is clicking, and maybe for a half at least they'll be in the game, but I think Dwyer's got too much for him.
I'm in agreement with you. Let's move up to Class 8A, South Dade Killian, the rematch. Who you got?
Toughest one to pick, to be honest, because South Dade's looked great all year except for that one game against Killian when Khalil Render threw those 4 interceptions. No one plays defense, I think, in that region like Killian does, but I'm going to go with South Dade by a point.
I'm going with South Dade. I think the offense gets it back on track this week as well. Coral Gables, Columbus.
Columbus, until last week, I didn't even think Columbus might be here in this game, but they made it, and the reason they did is they're starting to look a lot like they did last year. Maybe they don't have the same horses running the ball they did last year, but Austin Armstrong did a good job. And if they run the football like that again, they're going to have a real good chance to do it. I think they are going to do it, and the reason is I'm a little worried about Greg Howell because I think the wear and tear of the season has worn down on him. For him not to play in a playoff game last week, that's not a good sign. I mean, if he proves everybody wrong, comes out and has another big game, then we'll be talking about Gables this week. But for now, that's my pick.
All right, I'm going to give Chris Merritt some ammunition. I'm picking Coral Gables to win this game.
Wow.
I like the way Keno Mike ran the ball last week. I think they got 2 running backs. I think they're going to put on a show. And this Columbus team struggled for a reason. All right, the big 8A game. The one here involving this team, Deerfield and Miramar. Who do you got?
Well, here's you think this is the spot where my column might go tomorrow after we go in bulletin board material? Yeah. No, I think Deerfield definitely has a good chance of winning this game for sure, but I think I'm going to put the bullseye on Miramar just because of their playoff experience and what they've done in the past. But a close game. It really could go either way, to be honest.
All right.
Who are you going with?
Who am I picking? Nobody, because I'm covering the game,
what a
and I want to be able to stand on both sidelines without anybody yelling at me. So I know how Cogdale is down there. I'm not gonna give him any ammunition to be mad at me. All right, the last one, Booker T University School. This one we've talked about all season long. Huge matchup, 2 defending state champions. Who you got?
Yeah, I mean, I have to go with Booker T because, I mean, I probably would have gone with Booker T from the beginning, but University, what worries me is just the way they've been, beaten up by opposing running games the last few games. Obviously, I know Booker T is a little more balanced. They like to throw the ball as well as run it. But the talent level, I mean, I think they'll find a way. The University might hang in there for a little bit, and obviously there's going to be a lot of emotions going into this game that'll make it close, but the Tornadoes have too much to lose that number 1 ranking.
I'm in agreement with you, but I think this is going to be dangerously close. I think this is going to be dangerously close. I think University School, they've had 2 rough weeks in a row. They've self-scouted themselves. They know after that Manatee loss and the loss to Central what they got to do. And Booker T doesn't have the running game to pound them the way those teams do.
No, they don't.
So I think you need a healthy Treon Harris. And if Treon Harris is in any way shaken up in this game, upset alert.
It could get interesting.
Upset alert. All right, that wraps it up for our round 2 picks. We'll see you next week.